Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the recent launch of Artemis first mission to the moon that has been carried out by the NASA. And many experts are saying that this will usher a new dawn, a new age as far as the space exploration programs by the humanity is concerned. So we are going to discuss in details what is the main objective or the aim of this particular mission, how this mission will be carried out, and what are the major benefits or the significance that we can hope to get from this particular mission. So first of all, NASA's giant moon rocket, it has lifted off yesterday actually, and it has heralded a new phase as far as the deep space exploration is concerned. Almost after 50 years, that means half a century, when last time 6 Apollo human mission programs, human moon landing programs were carried out between 1969 to 1972 by the United States of America. Now, as far as this particular Artemis first program is concerned, it will also have a space capsule that has been called or named as Orion space capsule. It will sit actually atop the 32-story space launch system vehicle, and this will complete 25-day lunar orbiter mission before splashing down in the Pacific Ocean on the 11th of December. The liftoff on Wednesday came after two scheduled launches has been planned earlier as well. This mission was planned first of all in August 29 and later on September 3rd. However, both time we can say the launch has to be aborted because of some technical issues, some technical problems were there, and that is why yesterday finally successfully there has been a liftoff of this particular mission. So let us try to understand briefly about the mission. So first of all, if you look at the name of this mission is Artemis. Now Artemis, as far as the Greek mythology is concerned, refers to the sister of Apollo, who is also considered as the moon goddess or have the status of goddess in the Greek mythology, and that is why the name Artemis has been given to this particular mission. The first important point about this mission that this is an unmanned mission. That means there is no human present inside this launch vehicle. There is no human inside this orbiter. Second, on board the Orion, we have three dummies actually that has been placed inside, and these three dummies basically are a kind of mannequins that mimic astronauts. That means the mannequin has been constructed using the bones, using the tissues, and similar kind of physical anatomy as humans have, and that is why when the Artemis and the Orion finally go into deeper space, we'll be able to understand why the sensors that has been put inside these dummies, that how the humans can be impacted as well in the atmosphere or the environment of the deeper space. The third point about this mission is that the main intention of this particular mission is to carry out tests in the outer space, in the deeper space, before we can send manned mission for the purpose of exploring the outer space and even for the landing on various planets, including Moon, Mars, and other celestial bodies. Now, the question that comes into mind automatically that already if humans have been able to successfully send a manned mission to the moon in the 1969-1970s, why so much hullabaloo is about this particular mission? So we have to understand that the missions that were sent, the manned missions, the human landing that were conducted during the 1969-70s, these were largely driven by the Cold War geopolitical consideration. The reason was that in the Cold War rivalry between Soviet Union and United States of America, Soviet Union was very much successful in sending the first man into the space, that was Yuri Gagarin. It was also successful in sending the first satellite, that is the Sputnik, and also it was able to crash land its moon vehicle or moon rover that we can call as a Luna. So due to this, there was large scale, we can say, discontentment among the American population, American space agencies, and that is why the then President John F. Kennedy has announced that before the end of this decade, that means his announcement comes somewhere in the year 1961, where he said that by the end of this decade, that is by 1970s, we will be able to place a man on the moon. So the landing or the human landing on the moon was driven by this kind of geopolitical considerations, and that was finally carried out as well. NASA was became successful, and we have the first humans that we know, that Neil Armstrong and we can say Edwin Aldrin. They finally landed on the moon in year 1969. However, what we have to understand that despite these successes, the technological ecosystem that were present, that were available to the astronauts, to the space agencies at that time, they were not fully ready yet to fully realize the potential of that monumental scientific breakthroughs. And that is why even despite successful man landing, human landing, these astronauts were not able to do a lot of things, not able to do a lot of research, and they just brought some samples from the moon crust, and which we were able to analyze later to understand more detail about the moon, its formation, its origin, as well as its geology. However, since 1969-1970s, humanity have achieved a lot of progress as far as space exploration is concerned. To give you an example, we have been able to venture beyond the solar system. That means we have been able to send satellites beyond the solar system, such as Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. We have been able to send missions to the Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and that is why we have much more better understanding of these planets today than we have a half a century before. And even India has been able to send Mars orbiter mission Mangalyaan, and that has been also a very successful kind of mission. Apart from that, in the last 50 years, more than 500 astronauts have been able to travel to space and come back. And there also has been a success in development of permanent space labs in the outer space. For example, the most famous one is the International Space Station, that is joint collaborative effort of several countries, as well as the China's Tiangong-1. So if you look at all this progress humanity have achieved, it is the correct time, it is the right time that we should venture beyond these successes that we have achieved and try to fulfill the unfulfilled, we can understand the goals that we have as far as the deep space exploration is concerned. Now, if you talk about the future of human space exploration, what are our ultimate goal, or what is the next goal that we have as a member of the humanity? So first of all, everywhere across all the major countries, the space exploration agencies are looking for the possibility of landing, living, as well as exploring the possibilities of life on the other planet. And the best candidate for this is obviously Mars. Not only that, the scientists all across the world, astronauts all across the world, are also focusing on whether there is a possibility of encountering any aerial life form in the deeper space, and what is the possibility of life existing beyond the Earth or beyond our solar system. And that is why, to answer these questions and to fulfill these goals, this mission, that is Artemis I mission, obviously it is not going to fulfill all these goals. Obviously, it is not going to complete our next goal, but obviously it is going to be a stepping stone to much greater things that humanity will encounter in the coming future. And that is why the main goal of this mission is to not only take humans back to the moon, because that we already have achieved half a century before. What our goal is this time is to explore the possibilities of extended stay on the moon. Rather than just going back, spending few minutes, few seconds and coming back, we should be able to extend our stay for a longer time duration. And Artemis 1 is first in the series of mission that is going to fulfill this particular objective. So question comes that how will it be made possible by the help of this mission? So as far as this particular mission is concerned, it is believed that it will build on the existing achievement of the space technologies that we have achieved in the past few decades. And it will also try to extract the resources that is found on the moon, because obviously if we're trying to extend our stay on the moon, we cannot depend on the resources that we're taking from the Earth. We also have to find the resources that we can use and extract on the moon, and also build from the materials available there, because obviously we need shelter, we will need food, and to fulfill all these basic requirements of the human life, we need to depend on the moon's surface, and that is what this mission will try to achieve. Third, also we require energy, power, if we want to use moon as a launching pad to venture into the deeper space, to go into the other planets as well. And that is why there is also a possibility of harnessing hydrogen and helium, such gases, as an energy source. So these are some of the areas where this Artemis mission is going to work. Now obviously Artemis mission is being launched by one of the most powerful rocket that has been developed till now, and this is being launched by a rocket that is called as SLS, that is a space launch system. This rocket is even more powerful than the Saturn V rocket, which was used during the Apollo mission program to facilitate the moon landing. And SLS can actually help the Orion spacecraft that is located on the upper part of this rocket to achieve a speed of over 36,000 km per hour. To remind you, the orbital escape velocity is around 28,000 km per hour. And overall, the rocket structure is almost 98 meters tall vehicle that is weighing 2,500 tons. So this is also a very unique kind of rocket, very powerful rocket on which the space exploration program will depend now and even in the future. So what are the payloads that this particular mission is carrying that will help it in carrying out the further studies? So first of all, it is made up of several CubeSats, that is small satellites are there, and each of these numerous satellites have a dedicated task to perform. For example, the one of the CubeSat will try to search for water in all its forms, that is solid, liquid, and gaseous, on the moon's lunar surface, on the nearby areas. Second of the CubeSat will try to map the availability of hydrogen, because as we have discussed, hydrogen is something that we can use as a fuel in the next generation or in the next in the coming future. Third, it will also try to investigate how small organisms such as fungi and algae behave in the outer space, how the cosmic radiation affect their growth and survivability. And not only that, as we discussed, that mannequins have been sent in this orbiter, and these mannequins have similar kind of structure as the physical anatomy of humans. And we'll also try to understand that how the deep space impact differently, various impact of deep space can be observed in the human body, and how the radiation coming from the sun also is affecting the human body. Because one of the most concerning thing in the outer space is the solar radiation. Every now and then, at regular interval, at periodic interval, you have a lot of solar radiation made up of we can say strongly charged particles that comes out, and if the humans are present in the outer space, their body will directly will directly absorb the radiation, will directly come in the path of radiation, and there is a chances of diseases such as cancer as well as cardiovascular diseases can happen. Because we talk about the earth, we are protected from such kind of strong solar radiation, solar flares, because earth has a geomagnetic field, and due to this, the people living on the earth are protected from this solar radiation. But this geomagnetic field is not able to help the astronauts who are in the deeper space, who are in the outer space. So we also have to understand the effect of this radiation before we can send any manned mission for an extended period of time, either on the moon or beyond the moon. As far as this particular mission is concerned, after roughly 25 days, 11 hours and 36 minutes, the Orion capsule will finally travel a distance of almost 1.3 million miles and will try to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere at almost 24,500 miles per hour. And finally, it is expected to crash and splash down on the 11th of December somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. So what we can say as far as the conclusion is concerned about this particular space program is that we can understand that a very noted science fiction author, H.G. Wells, has once said that life, forever dying to be born afresh, forever young and eager, will presently stand upon this earth as upon a footstool and stretch out its realm amidst the stars. So, to make this possible, to stretch our realm beyond the earth, this is the first step in the right direction. So, that is all about this particular mission. I hope you understood about the concepts in this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for such more helpful contents. Thank you very much.